All right, there shouldn't have to be any reason that you would have to throw away a hammer due to something wrong, something being wrong with the eye, because there's always a way to fix it. And the trick or the key to fixing things with the eye when you see something's going wrong is to fix it as soon as you see it. Don't wait until the hammer's 80% done, 75% done to fix these problems. After you punch or slit the eye and you see if it's crooked or angled or off to one side, all of these can be fixed. You should never have to throw away the hammer. You can always bring it back to good. The key is doing it right away, as soon as you see it. Another thing that might help is the drift that you use. Usually the ones that I sell are a lot longer, but I like the shorter ones. I like them short because you can get on top of them easier, and it's less energy transfer for the hammer blow to go through. How do I want to say that? You're reaching the work faster. So the first problem being is if the eye's crooked. So what you'll do is turn the hammer on its side, and you're going to hit here and here. And what that does is it straightens the eye out. Then you reinsert the drift and drive it in. After doing that a few times, you should be able to get that back to straight, no matter how crooked it is. It might dent the body of the hammer, but through the forging process, you should be able to get rid of those dents. So, this is what that you're going to have to assume or imagine that this is crooked. And you hit here and here. And it makes it straight. Then you insert the drift, put it over the hardy hole, and drive the drift in. And you do that a few times. That should straighten it back out. The second one being if the drift is at an angle. So if it's at an angle, this takes a little bit more force with the hammer, and it's harder. It's a more difficult correction than this one, but you can still do it. And to correct it, drive it in a little, and then you're going to have to. Let's say that it's leaning this way, back. So if it's leaning back, you will put the nose of the hammer on the anvil, and you're going to hit the drift here. That rotates the drift forward. After you do that a few times, it should straighten out. It's going to take a little bit more oomph with your hammer blows, but you will be able to get it straight. The third one is if the eye wasn't punched in the center of the hammer. And I'm not talking about center front to back, and I'm talking about center side to side. So if it's off to this side, and this is where a cold forge comes in handy, because you're going to have to isolate the heat on the thicker side. So you lay the hammer on its side, the thicker side down, and isolate that heat. Isolate that heat to a bright yellow or bright orange. And when you bring it up to temp, take it back out and drive the drift in. What that should do is the side that's hot is going to allow for that drift to gravitate towards that side. That side will be bulged out. After you create the bulge, lay the hammer on its side and start hammering on top of that bulge. What that'll do with the drift in is to thin that material out. So hopefully it gets back in the center. There we go. You've got your hot side here. Assume this is the thicker side. Put it here. It should create a bulge. Hammer the bulge down. And it should move it over. Those are 3 ways to correct the eye of a hammer if you have things going wrong. Remember, it's the sooner the better. Don't let it go until you're almost done. When you see it, fix it.